From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBICV, Primetime Capper. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you are feeling the same. And it is time for the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles. And you guys already know that today is a good day because I got none other than my brother from another and the man when it comes to capping and just being one of the best at doing this. This man has years on years of experience as well too. He calls me the OG, but I call him the Don of Cape Cod. And that's none other than Mr. Jeff Dawson himself, Mr. East Coast Sports Investors, the face. What's going on, baby?
What's going on, brother? Great to be here. Always blessed and honored to be a part of the PrimeTime Angles show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, Jeff's been doing shows with me all the way back when we was doing Capcast, when I used to be in the garage with my man Tony. It's funny with Tony now. Tony's big time now. I don't know if you follow Tony on Facebook, but Tony, he was a doctor already, you know what I mean? Psychologist and all that stuff, but he was a great football player, great football coach, and he was coaching a lot at that time when I was doing that. But like literally, that man has turned a whole 180 because he was doing shows, all that good stuff. And it's funny now because he is like literally like doing these he goes and does a lot of what are those where you go talk to people. He does a lot of those
remote.
No, he goes to actual people. He goes to actual and he speaks to people like he's a what's called one of those life coaches or something of that nature.
Okay, yep.
So, I want to say lectures, but those forums that people go to, you fly out, they fly you out, you come talk to people. And Tony has done very well in that mass. And it's funny because now, and he also does he's also like a big time, instructor. Like he does those Peloton videos. It's not Peloton, but he does another one where it's a really cool video. So
I think you were looking for motivational speakers.
Yeah, he's motivational, but I think that he also just talks to people in general. You know what I mean? They call him out, and he was a professor for a while as well, too. But all in all, he's doing pretty good for himself right now. You know what I mean? And it was funny because if you just looked at it 7 years ago, it was a crazy thing. But one thing that he always told me, though, he said, man, you work so hard at this thing, man, and it's just a little something that you're doing, but you go about it like it's ESPN or something. So, I'm glad that you've been along for that journey. That's why the only reason why I'm talking about it. So it's great to have you here on the show with me today. Let's go ahead and jump into my first topic. And what we do, me and Jeff also host a show together called the NFL Bet Exchange, probably the best NFL show in the world because we do nothing but win on that show. You just know that. Like literally me and Jeff, a bad week for us is like maybe like 7-9. You know what I mean? A bad week for your favorite guys is like 3-13 or something. I don't know. But we do what we do. So let's go ahead and jump into how tough is the AFC East going into this season. I'll let you go ahead and let's start in your neck of the woods. What are you thinking about your Patriots right now?
Well, right behind me, the backdrop that I do have today is obviously at Gillette Stadium. Last year removed of uncertainties, meaning they stuck to the business model where they got two free coaches. They got Joe Judge and they got Matt Patricia, both being paid by their former teams, both friends of Bill. And they were put in positions that they had never done before, OC, quarterback coach. It was a disaster. And at the worst time, because Mac Jones, who led the Patriots to the playoffs in his rookie year, needed that guidance to take the next step. Well, guess what happened? He was running for the hills in OTAs and preseason looking for help and guidance. It was a real bad year overall. What they do this year, they cleared the dead wood. They bring in Bill O'Brien. So right there alone, Mac Jones is feeling a lot more comfortable. As for the team itself, the AFC is stacked this year. Miami, Tua. Is Tua going to be healthy? Obviously. The Bills are not the targeted team in the AFC that everyone thought last year was going to win the Super Bowl, win the AFC. In come the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, and now my beloved, they're not my beloved, I should say, now the Patriots. A team picked by most people to finish fourth in the division. I think defensively, they'll be a lot better. Offensively, I don't know. They'll be leaning on Stevenson in the running back situation there. Wide receivers, D-Hop is in town. I don't think they're going to sign him. Supposedly, the Patriots have offered him the most money. I think he's going on that world tour with Tennessee, the Patriots. I think a Kansas City or a Buffalo type team closer to winning, he'll fall there. But overall, Pops, it's a year with 17 games. I think you could be looking at a 7-10, maybe an 8-9. I don't see this team over 500, Pops.
Well, that's something that we need to. That's something that kind of surprises me. But you know what? I'm kind of in the same realm as that as well too. So pretty much, like you said. So to me, what is your thoughts on the Dolphins? And then I'll go into like my thoughts about everybody. But what are your specific thoughts about the Dolphins, real quick?
I think that they're moving in the right direction. Their whole season relies on how many games is Tua going to play? If early in the year, and you know me, I don't wish this upon anyone, if he takes another concussion, he might be done for the year, never mind his career. Their defense is great. Their offense is great. They got two studs on the wides, obviously with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. The rumor is that they're going to add Dalvin Cook. Now, if they add Dalvin, they already got Mozart and a few other backs. They're just adding to that stable. They'll be able to run the wishbone. Again, if I knew Tua in a crystal ball was going to play 16 out of 17 games, 15 out of 17 games, I'd put them right there with the Bills to win the AFC East.
All right. So you still like the Bills, huh?
I was on SportsMap Radio Wednesday. We had a Bills beat reporter. They're very upbeat. Stephon Diggs, the way I see it, is flexing his muscles because I don't think he wants D-Hop anywhere near there. And this beat reporter told me that they don't want D-Hop. They added Kincaid at tight end. They already had Knox. Gabe Davis needs to have a bounce back year. They'll have Cook as their running back. They added Patriots Damian Harris to the backfield. Their defense is very good. Second year now with their OC. There's no target on their back. I think the Hamlin injury and near-death experience really flipped that team the rest of the year to end the year. I think they start a fresh start. Josh Allen, one of the elite quarterbacks. I still think they're the team to beat in the AFC East, Pops.
All right. Well, last but not least, give me your thoughts on the Jets.
Listen, it all comes down to Rodgers. How engaged will Rodgers be? Listen, again, it's Brett Favre 2.0. Rodgers, all the talent in the world. He brought in a few of his binkies. They got one of the best young wide receivers in the game, Garrett Wilson. Is Breece Hall going to be ready coming off that injury? He looked electric last year. They can play defense. They got a defensive head coach. I'm not buying the sizzle. I'll take it by the stake side of it, meaning I'll watch them week to week. If they get out 2-3, 2-4, 2-5 Pops, I think Rodgers will be less engaged. If they come out guns a-blazing and 3-1, 4-1, he'll stay locked in. But again, this is not the NFC North Division. You're not playing the Bears. You're not playing the Vikings. You're not playing the Lions. He's got to suit up every week. And do they make the playoffs? They make the playoffs if Tua doesn't play 13, 14 games.
Well, that's good to know. I wish and I'm gonna run it a little bit quicker because I kind of got my quick notes about everybody. But when I look at the Patriots, we start with them because it don't matter. The Patriots are landlord right now. You know what I mean? Last 20 years, the Patriots have been the face of the AFC East. You know, it's kind of new now with, everybody kind of having a chance. You know what I mean? And the Patriots, I always say never sleep on them because Bill Belichick is still their coach. And Bill Belichick is still Darth Vader of the NFL at this point, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And all he got to do is find a team that just doesn't care about anything that's going on in the outside world, and he's back to business. You know that. But he has to be able to get a good relationship with his quarterback. It seems like him and his quarterback do not have the same relationship as him and Brady. Brady could take Belichick's coaching. I don't think Matt Jones can take his coaching. That's what the main problem is with the kid. You know what I mean? But now you got Bill O'Brien, who's going to kind of make life a little bit easier for him. So we'll see how it really, really plays out, Jeff. But Patriots, I'm like you. I think that the Patriots, they're a year away from their new quarterback. I think that they want to do the Mac Jones thing because, Bill trusted his old friend Nick Saban. And now, you pretty much want to go ahead and say, all right, let's go ahead and we're going to give him another chance because Kraft likes him. And so we'll keep him here. But I do have a quarterback waiting in the rafters just in case. And then I got Bill O'Brien, who's going to really break him if I need him to break him. If he can't get right with Bill O'Brien, he can't get right with anybody on this coaching staff. And so I think that's what he's looking at. I don't want to start. I'm going to keep the Dolphins for last because they're kind of my special little treat right now. Bills. I don't like this whole Diggs situation. Diggs was doing the same thing in Minnesota with Kirk Cousins. He's being a baby. Come on, man. You got paid. Didn't you? First, it was about getting paid. Now, I want to win. You guys, do you really want to win? Because the old Patriots showed us they wanted to win. Because they took contracts that were not their market value. They took contracts to win football games. And they understood that, hey, you know what? I can go sell a bagel over at Jeff's Bagels and Coffees if I need to. Because he'll pay me $20,000 to be a ambassador. See, the Patriots understood local business. So that's why they didn't worry about, getting a big contract and everything like that. But the Bills are starting to show the cracks in the armor. McDermott, to me, is on the is believe it or not, is on a hot seat. Even though he shouldn't be, he's on the hot seat. Josh Allen is in a contract. Should we really go ahead and pay this guy, or should we figure out a way to get assets for this guy next offseason? That's how the Bills are thinking in this sense as well, too, because it doesn't matter if the Bills have new owners and all that good stuff. They own New Era and all that. They're still cheap because it's still not a big market at the same time, too. People have to understand that's how the salary cap works. You have to be able to the market has to be the right market. The Patriots are able to pay anybody what they want. Boston is considered a big market. Buffalo is not a big market. So you deal with the situation in a win now situation. Green Bay and Buffalo are like very eerie similar to each other. But Green Bay, that's another topic for another day. Buffalo, on the other hand, though, they're in a prove it now situation. It's that simple. You have to prove if you're really worth our attention at the end of the day. We sat here in the 90s and saw them go to 4 straight Super Bowls and lose. So we're used to seeing this team thinking that they're getting to the mountaintop and get pushed off that mountaintop. And it just felt like deja vu all over again in that playoff game with the way that they've been the last 20 some odd years. Every time you have your biggest game ever, your biggest game of the season, you lay an egg. And that's exactly what happened again. So the Bills, I'm not that sold on them this year. I picked him to win the Super Bowl, everything last year. I'm out of that. I'm out of that group. I'm out. You know what I mean? Von Miller's a year older, another torn ACL. He's not going to be as effective as you think he is. Ed Oliver just got paid. Hopefully he still shows up. You know, there's a lot of things that are going into play that you just don't like about Buffalo going into the season. All right. The Jets, probably the most overrated story in all of football, because the thing is, Aaron Rodgers is washed up. Let's just keep it real. And I think that he was holding the Packers up. He was holding them hostage the last 2 seasons. And instead of embarrassing him like they did Brett Favre, they went ahead and let him phase himself out the team. Because I don't think that it didn't matter if he wanted in or out. They were out, the Packers, in my opinion. They just had to find the right sucker. And they found the right sucker for the second time, the Jets. And the Jets are so desperate for press clippings. That's why they went and got Aaron Rodgers, because they're the most irrelevant team in New York City. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. You know what I mean? They don't get as much. It's always just a mess with the Jets. They're a toxic franchise. Everybody should know that. You know, we talk bad about Cleveland. We talk bad about Detroit, but we sweep the Jets up under the rug because they're in New York. If you put them anywhere else, this team is a toxic situation. And they have a great roster. They have a great coach, but they have a guy who's probably going to sour the whole bunch, and that's Aaron Rodgers. I feel like they totally killed the confidence of their backup, who they're going to need by week 8 anyway, because Aaron Rodgers will probably have the first season where he's going to miss multiple games, because it's not going to get better. It gets worse. And the Jets don't have the same type of offensive line that the Packers had. And they hit much harder in the AFC East right now than they're hitting in the AFC North. And the NFC North, and the NFC North had a respect for Rodgers. We're in a division now where these are super rivals, Jeff. You can be a 0-9 Jets team, and you're going to play your heart out against the Patriots. You know what I mean? You're going to bring it. So Aaron Rodgers brings a lot of parity to the division, but he doesn't give me the comfort that he gives everybody else for the Jets. I think that it's a very, very risky situation, just like Brett Favre. And pretty much, what are we doing here? Because you're not setting yourself up for another quarterback. What you're doing is you're setting yourself up for failure. So you're hoping that you're going to get something out here in the short term with Aaron Rodgers. And it's not just showing up to the playoffs. The Jets are thinking Super Bowl. Let's keep it real. They're not thinking about, let's just get to the first round and be good with that. They brought Aaron Rodgers in for one thing only, the Lombardi. That's it, and that's all. They feel like they got the right guys with Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. We go from there and see what we can do. We got a top 5 defense that's on the other side as well, too. Let's see how it shakes out. And you know what? We're going to go ahead and bet on this thing, and hopefully everything works out in the right regard for us. Now, I'm going to be real quick here with the Dolphins. The Dolphins are, to me, a player away from really running away with this division. As long as their coach doesn't go off the rails and just does what he did the first 10 weeks of the season last year. Just give them simple game plans, hope for the defense to have a great game, and go ahead and go get the win. Because all in all, when we look at it, they probably might have the best roster in the division. When it comes down pound for pound, in reality. Only thing that they have, if we go rate the quarterbacks, we could probably say that they probably have the third best quarterback in the division. Oh, because Mac, your boy, would be last right now, even though he made the playoffs and everything. But Tua would be third right now, even though Tua can ascend to being the best quarterback in the division by the end of the year, if he is able to stay healthy. I would say that right now, even though I'm dogging him out a little bit, Aaron Rodgers, because of seniority, is the number 1 quarterback in the division, but he plays for a team that still doesn't know how to win. And we'll put Josh Allen as number 2. But one thing about the Dolphins is the Dolphins have Waddle and the Dolphins have Hill. Those are 2 of the fastest receivers in the league. And when they can get going and Tua gets going, you saw what that offense is capable of doing. And with the impending possibility of bringing in Dalvin Cook or Ezekiel Elliott, if they can get one or the two, or either or, they will put themselves in position to be one of the top 5 teams, not just in the AFC, but in the NFL. Because the Dolphins, it's just been a long time coming. Let's just keep it real, Jeff. And you know this. The Dolphins, when it was Don Shula, you never thought about the Dolphins not making the playoffs. Since Don Shula left, it hasn't been the same. But we're getting closely, eerily back to a good situation in Miami to where they can be a consistent winner, in my opinion. So that's my thoughts on the AFC East, and hopefully everything works out in my favor, in my regard. You know what I mean? But AFC East, I feel like it is the toughest division going into the year in the AFC for sure. I can't say last year was the AFC West. I wasn't too right about that, but because Denver was bad. But I think this year I'm gonna be on to something. I think that it's gonna be a blanket finish in the AFC East. I think that it's gonna be half a game, half a game, half a game. And it comes down to the final weeks of the season in this division. Straight up. Everybody, and I think that everybody loses to everybody.
Well, I can, and I said this on our show yesterday, and I'll say it again here. The most competitive top to bottom division in my mind is the AFC North. And when you go from Baltimore to, well, put Cincinnati on top, and then you got Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland. The difference between that division and the AFC East is that I think there's separation from the top, the middle, to the bottom. I think the Patriots can shock the world if they somehow, some way can play solid defense, go back to the old ways. Hey, we'll beat you 23-20. You can't get into any shootouts. They open up against Philly. If they want to come in a shootout, they ain't going to outscore Philadelphia. They're going to have to win on defense. So that's why I think a bad Jets team, even with an Aaron Rodgers, is better. There's a separation versus the Patriots, but the top with Miami, Buffalo, and listen, I can definitely see Miami win. If I knew my Tua was going to be healthy all year, I would take Miami over Buffalo. But again, that concussion and the guys upstairs, that's the thing that's keeping me away from going all in on Miami. But for fantasy football purposes, you can't go wrong with Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle. That's for sure.
Right. And see, that's where it makes a lot of people just have to understand that we have ourselves a very, very good season that's coming up for us this year. So, all in all, but me and Jeff, we can talk about this NFL thing all day long. And I'm trying to bring them in on Fridays and stuff like that, so we can start our previews of these divisions. So we can kind of stay in the loop of what everybody else is doing. But let's go ahead and switch gears a little bit, and we're going to go into the NBA world because we got a bunch of breaking news going on in the NBA right now as we speak. Breaking: MJ sells his majority stake in the Hornets. What will this mean for the future of the franchise? Jeff, give me your thoughts.
Long time coming. Listen, I applaud MJ for taking on this project. Listen, you're the greatest basketball player of all time. Doesn't mean you're going to be the greatest owner, MG, GM, whatever you want to say. Didn't do very well in that job or aspect of it. He's getting older, obviously, as all of us are. I think this is a few years in the coming. So a breath of fresh air for the Hornets is my take on this moving forward.
All right. Well, who do you think they're picking?
I have no idea right now.
All right. Well, my thing is like this. I feel like with Michael Jordan, everything he's done other than basketball has been a failure. Okay. The guy tried to make cologne one time. That didn't work. The guy tried to do jeans one time. That didn't work. What else did Michael Jordan do that just didn't work? Oh, he tried to go gamble over in Atlantic City. That didn't work. He tried to gamble on a golf course. That didn't work. You know what I mean? So it's just like Michael Jordan is the greatest face of a sport that you could ever have, right? because he was able to be so marketable. And I think that the best two things he's ever done was play basketball and sell shoes. And pretty much I think that's where he will have his greatest day at, is that he'll be the greatest in those two categories right there. You know what I mean? Multitasking. But I don't want to diss Jordan too bad, because you know what? I'm a dreamer as well. You know what I mean? And I think this was a great dream of Michael Jordan fulfilled. You know what I mean? And a lot of people have to understand that we're not going to get it right because we want to own a team. You know what I mean? You got to have some patience. You got to be able to really choose the right people to run your team. I think that Michael Jordan was very busy hiring his friends and other people who were just really good at kissing Michael Jordan's butt. You know what I mean? And I think that was the biggest downfall of this situation, is that he didn't have people that did want to take the lead of the team. They always looked to him for some type of decision. And I really do feel like he made some really bad picks over his tenure of being their owner as well, too. So there's just a lot of things with Jordan that just didn't work out because he's big ego, man. And when you have a big ego, it's never going to work. And I know that people don't want you to speak ill on Jordan and things like that, but none of us are perfect. And I commend him for living a dream. But sometimes dreams can be nightmares. You know,
I agree. I just said, again, it was the right time. Listen, you're always looking for a challenge, whether you talk about cologne, restaurants. I mean, his sneakers are legendary, the Air Jordans. I mean, Nike, NBA career, college career, whatever you want to say. When it came to the actual basketball end of it, there'll be no one ever greater. But when it comes to other business decisions, failed. Yeah, to succeed, you got to fail. So at least he tried. You know, we don't have the financial resources to go buy teams, to go start our own colognes or, you know, whatever. So I give him credit for swinging. I think he definitely missed here. And like I said, moving forward, I think in the long run, and actually short term coming forward, that the Hornets will be a lot better space, I should say, Pops.
And this is going to sound pretty harsh before we move on, but the NBA is grateful for this.
1,000%.
Because if Jordan was a success in owning, then it would have been like, now you have to let him be the commissioner of the league.
And then in comes LeBron, wants to buy a team, Steph Curry, the money these guys are making. So I agree 1,000%.
If I was advising both of them, I'd say stay away. Let the rich guys that want to have that can really take a loss, go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? And the way that they set this up is they talk as if these guys are going to be the sole owner, Stan Kroenke type stuff. No, they're trying to get a percentage. You know what I mean? They're not going to be the full on owner. Come on, you're not going to take that big of a loss. You're not going to sacrifice your whole well-being to try to make sure you can get a team to be great. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? So let's just not even play ourselves in that regard. All right, let's go ahead and switch on to some very important news. This has a lot to do with our business, betting business, because they went from 25-1 now to 22-1. They'll be down to 14, 10-1 by the time Ja comes back. But Ja's been suspended 25 games to start 23-24. And me and Jeff were very, very Jeff said give him give him all the 2023 off and then give him the first day. Well, he met you in the middle. I felt like the first 6 weeks would be the right type of punishment because you'll get the point. You know what I mean? You missed the first 6 weeks of the season. And really they gave him the grace because the first 25 games are almost the most irrelevant games in the NBA. So, I think they had to look at it and say to themselves that we don't want to catch a big-ass lawsuit. So we're going to go ahead and do this thing. We're going to meet them in the middle. We're not going to give them the 50 that we were thinking about. We'll just give them 25. But if you do it again, it's the season, and we all know that.
When I saw this, I actually tweeted. I was like, Adam Silver sold out. He sold out. They got into his ears, and then I think it was last week, Ja trying to say it was a toy gun. When you listen to Adam Silver, talk about the sit down with him and the 8 games, which he thought was like, kid, don't do it again. And it went in one ear, out the other ear. And per Adam, Josh said all the right things. He thought he was taking them seriously. And then to set us up to say, hey, we're working on this investigation. We're almost there, but we don't want it to taint the NBA Finals. And then to come back with 25 games, I'm going to say it's a slap on the wrist. That is no way in hell. I said it from day one to you, and I'm glad you brought it back. His ass would have been out till December 31st. There would have been a laundry list. I make sure you're checking all these boxes and doing this. No, the 25 games, I don't know if it was the union or what, but listen, Memphis played great without him anyways. He's not going to learn. We've seen this before in some of these athletes. And so God bless Memphis. Ja, you only lose 25 game checks. We'll see what happens. But Adam got soft on this one. He got soft, Pops.
Well, you know what? He's a soft guy in general. You know what I mean? I feel like he's one of the worst commissioners we've ever had because he lets the players control way too much of everything. And I feel like he's not sending enough messages. And you know what this is going to affect in the long run? Advertisers, TV dollars, all that stuff, because they want to make sure that the people who are elected officials and the executives of the NBA, that they have this league up under control, and they don't have the league up under control. They just let the players just randomly say everything that they want to do. I think that all in all, that they have a lot of guys that feel like they have major voices because the world that we live in and the society that we're in, that they'll have people backing them on anything that they say. But the thing is, though, these guys are not that smart because, you know, when you skip college and when you skip steps, you're gonna mess up. You know what I mean? And I think that, you know, they're not being held accountable enough. You know, I thought that he found a good middle with this, but he had to really lay the law down and show people that, you know what, I'm not messing around with this league, because Gilbert Arenas lost his whole career over this nature. Javaris Crittenton literally is in jail for the rest of his life because he didn't have the NBA anymore after doing the bull BS that he did. You know what I mean? So, you know, you guys got to understand, Ron Artest might not even make the Hall of Fame because of what happened in the Palace and the Malice, because it took away years from his career. It took away the prime years of his career. That was going to be Ron Artest's MVP season that they took away from him. I promise you, he was going to win MVP that year. Ron was playing out of his mind to start that season. He was averaging 28 points a game. So, you know, there's just a lot of things, and the NBA just has to understand that you can't coddle these guys, man, because they're too into what's going on into the world. And, you know, hip hop and the NBA had a marriage back in the 90s, and they're still together. And I think that a lot of their influence is still in today's basketball, but these aren't the right type of rappers to be influenced by. You know what I mean? These are people that talk about murder, guns, and drugs a lot, and money. You know what I mean? And, you know, everything's a shuck and jive dance situation. It's just, life's more serious than that. You know what I mean? And we're in serious business, and you got billion-dollar corporations that are invested in this business. So whatever you got going on the side, wrap it up. Or you can go ahead and go play with the idiots, and then, you know, they'll keep telling you how much they want to trade places with you. You know, it's up to you. But with that, let's go ahead, and that's a good way to move on. But before we move on, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we'll be talking some Blue Crew Daily and talking some baseball. So you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime capper, and the Don of Cape Cod himself, Mr. Jeff Dawson.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, we are back with the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper, and you already know the Don of Cape Cod himself, Jeff Dawson. Let's go ahead and get into Blue Crew Daily real quick. The Dodgers go ahead and win last night with extra win series with extra inning heroics from Freddie Freeman, beating the White Sox 5-4. Jeff, what were your thoughts on that? And did you lose any money?
No, I didn't. The White Sox is one of those teams that I think basically didn't start well, but they're in a division that they can absolutely, if they get hot, capture and seize it. You know, Liam Hendricks battling cancer, makes his way back, and then he goes back on the IL with some stiffness. Their offense is scary where you blink and Jake Berger gets up there and he swings at every first pitch. And he's homering. Then you had Luis Roberts, Eloy Jimenez. But again, you guys battled back. That's what you guys always do. Great win for the Blues.
Man, it was one of those games, Jeff. You know what I mean? And I think that they were very, very fortunate to get that win as well too last night, because you know it's been some tough sledding in a sense with the Dodgers as of late. You know, you lost the last 5 out. You lost the 5 out of 9. You know, and you know, you hadn't won your last 2 series, and you were on the brink of losing this series last night. You know, and once again, Chris Taylor, big, huge play last night, Jeff, huge. So you know that grand slam was everything. You know, because the Dodgers, it was like literally right on time. The Dodgers needed that hit badly because honestly, you don't want to go out like that. You know, like we like to say, you don't want to go out like that to a team like the White Sox that are struggling so badly. You know what I mean? So that was pretty huge in my opinion that they were able to pull that off last night. And the way that they did pull it off was absolutely, to me, incredible. You know, so I think that we have some pretty good things that we have going on here with these two squads. So, you know, I'm just because I'm over here looking at I'm trying to get talking tickets together as well too. So the Dodgers, though, there's just a lot of things that they're gonna have to work out. Michael Grove's not a good is not working out as one of the start, but they stuck, Jeff. They stuck because I know what the Dodgers are planning on doing. They're getting together their best 5 prospects that they know that they can live without at this point. And those guys are gone. They're going to the highest bidder because the Dodgers are probably going to go for whatever pitcher that's the highest, that's the best on the market, that they'll be in the race for that. And whatever outfielder or outfielder or some type of middle infielder, some situation like that becomes available on the trade market. The Dodgers are going to be big players in the trade market. Let's just go ahead and get that together now. A team that won't be big players in the trade market because they don't have to be is the Arizona Diamondbacks. So, you put that into 2 and 2. But the Dodgers, they got to start looking on the open market for people. Come on. Julio Teheran is going to have to waste away in Milwaukee. and he's pitching lights out right now. He would have been a great pickup for the Dodgers. The Dodgers knew who he was. Julio Teheran was an all-star 5 years ago. What's the problem? He was a top 5 pitcher. And I would think that the Dodgers would have got the flyer on him. They get the flyer on every other top 5 pitcher that used to be good.
Well, that was their move in the offseason with Syndergaard. That was
right.
their Julio Teheran.
They should have already knew that they had the report on him from the Angels. He didn't do anything with them. And then when he got to Philadelphia, they sent him to the bullpen and barely played him. Because everybody knew who was up, but the Dodgers just took a name.
If you want to make a splash, you call up Cleveland. I said this the last time I was on your show. Call up Cleveland. Bieber was available. That's the guy you want. I mean, he'll give you everything Bauer couldn't times 10. But you're talking about 5 prospects. You better be careful, Pops, because if Shohei becomes available at the trade deadline and you're making all these deals and then next thing you know, he flies out, he ends up in San Fran or Seattle, you're not going to be happy. So if you're going to wait till the end of the year and then write him a check for $600 million, that's one thing. And it's not going to cost you anything. And I think that's what the Dodgers are hoping, that he's not traded during the trade deadline here. But obviously, if Shohei is available, which I don't think he is, because I think the Angels are right there. Their back end has been pitching a lot better than most had ever expected. Again, Rondon hurt again. The guys just cashing checks like a few others. But Trout and Shohei are still playing every day. They got some young players. My point is this, just be careful. I know you guys are going to be there. And it's funny because, again, Arizona, we know what the Padres are made out of. And then the Giants are pesky. You'll find out this weekend. You'll probably win 2 out of 3. Giants will find a way to win one of them at least. So you're in a division that's not a cakewalk this year, even though, you got the Braves. And then what else do you have out there? I mean, the Phillies, the Mets, no thank you. And then that other division is trash right now. So you got to worry about your division. You'll be in the playoffs. You don't have to win the division or go all in to win the division. You'll be in the playoffs. Be interesting to see who you pick up.
And the funniest thing about it is, Jeff, I know you hear this, but we'll catch the Diamondbacks. Dude, they don't know how to win in August. Winning in August is different from winning in May. You know that, Jeff.
2 years ago, every Thursday I sat here and you kept saying, don't worry, we're catching the Giants. Don't worry, we're catching the Giants. Don't worry.
And we used to have a game out every single day. We would be up 1, they would be up 1. You
didn't catch them. You didn't catch them, but you beat them in the playoffs, that's all that matters. Arizona's got Gallen, who looks like he's running out of gas a little. But listen, they can score. They can get on. They can steal bases with Carroll, McCarthy. They're a fun team to watch. They don't have depth in the pitching. But my point is, you guys and the Braves, you're on a collision course. Might as well just play the 7-game series now and just call it a year.
Well, we will see. Let's go ahead and jump into some games, though, Jeff, because I know you got to go, and we'll be real quick. All right, MLB Friday night. What's your favorite game tonight?
It's a tough board. The Yankees are in town against the Red Sox. Listen, it's not like the old days. Overnight, Yankees were favored by 115. Now the Sox are minus 123. Will I be watching it? Probably not. I'll be working on Saturday's card. I'll be watching the golf, to be honest with you. But the point is, I'm looking at the matchup, Houck versus Herman. Herman has struggled. You saw Herman not too long ago. I think the Sox get that one done, if that's what you're wondering.
Okay, well, you talking Sox? Let's go ahead and talk about them. So you just try to beat me to the punches and stuff. I was trying to get another game from you, but all right, tonight. You already gave me your thoughts on this one. You know what I'm thinking tonight in this game? I think that Hook, what do you guys call it? What they call him in Boston?
Houck.
Okay, so Houck is he's a guy he gets hit. Let's keep it real. He gets hit. So I would say that possibly the way that we play this one tonight is I want to play the over here. I know Jermon's going to be really good. That's all good and well. But I really, truly do think that this one will wind up being a much, much better game than pretty much that's advertised, in my opinion. I think that this game will wind up being one of those games that, have some back and forth fireworks to it. And I think that a lot of people are going to be really, really happy about what they see when it comes down to this situation tonight. So what do you – and we didn't even talk about the Giants and the Dodgers tonight. And that's why it had what's called – I said, damn, you got me talking about the Diamondbacks of all teams that I know that we're going to catch and beat by 5 games. But, that's for another day. Giants, real quick, what do you think about the Giants and the Dodgers?
I don't know enough about the Brebbia guy. The under-over is 8.5. It's been pushed to 9 at circa 8.5 everywhere else. Don't know anything about Sheehan. So that's kind of interesting to me there. I had an overnight number of about 145. Money coming in on San Fran. I think most people will take the over for the unknown factor between both pitchers, and then from there, I just got a pitch and check. W West is pitching now for the Tigers. I was waiting on that. Close game. I'll give a slight lean to the Dodgers here. How about we go 5-3 Dodgers tonight?
All right, 5-3 Dodgers tonight. We'll see how it goes, see how it checks out, Jeff. But I like the over here with the Mets and the the Yankees and the Red Sox. I don't know why I'm saying the Mets. Goofy me. But I like that situation going into this game. And so pretty much let's go ahead and move on to our next game, Jeff. That's going to be the Blue Jays and the Rangers. This is, to me, the game of the day. What are your thoughts on this one? You got Gausman going against Perez. Perez has been good, but he's been getting banged up a lot lately.
Gausman been one of the best pitchers in the AL, if not the game, coming off, I think, another monster strikeout performance. I had an overnight number of 145 with an 8.5. Right now at the circuit down to 141. You can grab the Rangers at plus 129. The total is now 9 juiced under minus 15 cents. For me, I'd be looking to try to grab the Blue Jays minus the half run first 5. Get in, get out. Don't have to worry about the back end pops.
All right. And the way I'm looking at this one right now, I'm going to go ahead and take the Jays today in this spot. I think the Jays are going to be really good. And you know what? I think they're going to be so good that they're going to actually win by more than 1 run, Jeff. I got them actually winning this game today by 2 or more runs. So I like the 1.5 run line at plus 155. A whole bunch of value. You know how I get out. So we're going to take that one because I just feel like Gausman is going to cook tonight and Perez is going to get hit up because he's been bad in the last few games. But I've trusted Perez, though, throughout the year. And I think that Perez and Gray have probably been the best pitchers for the Rangers this season. When you look at the full sample size of when they started going on their run and everything like that, those guys are very integral to that because they were big dogs when they were pitching on those days as well, too. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Pirates Brewers. This is the biggest matchup of the weekend in the NL. We got the number 1 Pirates going against the Brewers. And it was funny because me and Mike were on his show, the Mike Abadir show yesterday, and he was talking so highly about the Pirates. And I had to remind him that, the Pirates have lost, they went 20-7 to start the season. And they've lost since that point. They've went 14-26. So they're not playing the world's greatest baseball. They're just got off to a good start in a bad division. And now the Brewers have caught up, and this will probably go ahead and solidify who is going to be in charge of the division for this month. Not for the season, but for this month. What are your thoughts?
No, I agree. My numbers, they got the old-timer Rich Hill pitching, who's actually, again, what is the best thing about Rich Hill? He can't break a pane of glass anymore, but he's a pitcher. He knows his craft. He knows how to trick you. He eats up innings. He right now facing Julio Teheran, who we talked about a little while ago. My opening numbers on this game was the Brewers minus 120 with a 9 over under. Now it's circa, it's 114 with a 9 juiced under minus 25. First 1 to 5 wins this pops. Again, I don't trust either pitcher. I think it could actually, if both pitchers are on The offenses have been struggling. I could see the underplay, but I think at least one of them will be off. So if I had to choose, I would run over to DraftKings right now. You can go over 8.5 minus 15 cents. And like I said, first 1 to 5 wins this. I think it's a 5-4 final, Pops.
All right. And we're going to end it with this game right here because I know that I got to let you go after this, and we're going to take another quick break. What is your thoughts on the Rays and the Padres tonight?
Wow, the Rays, let me just be honest with the Rays. They just played 4 games in Oakland. Monday, we had team total over 5.5, didn't get there. Tuesday, we had team total over 5.5, it didn't get there. We passed on them Wednesday, and of course, they got to 6. Yesterday, we had them first 5 minus the half run, winning 3-0, bottom of the 5th. Taj had 11 strikeouts and 2 errors and a base hit, and it's 3-3, and we lose. So I'm pretty salty on the Rays. Padres offense is starting to heat up. Great pitching matchup there. Let me just pull that one up for 1 second here for you, Pops. McClanahan versus Darvish. The overnight number was Tampa favored 115. Money coming in on San Diego as we speak. Great pitching matchup. The value, you're never going to get McClanahan at this price and coming off a bad game. So I'd look for a bounce back from McClanahan. Try to grab him in the first 5. Otherwise, anyone wants to jump on the show and grab the Padres. I mean, I could see it. I mean, you're looking at it. I'm looking at your screen right now. Rays 50-22. Padres 33-35. Yet it's a pick 'em. So I guess the value's on the Padres, Pops.
All right. So with that, Jeff, thank you so much, sir. I know you gave me an extra 25 minutes or so. So thank you very much. You know what I mean? Hopefully I can get you back next Friday as well, too. And we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. When I get back, we will be doing Talkin Tickets. So you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, and we are signing out with the Don of Cape Cod himself. Jeff, real quick, give them your connections. Give them how they're gonna get to you.
Easiest way to find me is on Twitter at EC Sports Invest. Follow me, we'll follow you back. You can go to our website at www.eastcoastsportsinvestors.com. Send me an email at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com. We got first-time client specials. We got quarterly, yearly, whatever you need, we're here. We're basically, here to educate with a little entertainment. We save the entertainment for Fox and ESPN and all those clowns on social media. So as always, blessed and honored to be a part of the movement, Pops. Have a great weekend, and thank you again.
All right. You already know what time it is, man. So you guys make sure to check Jeff out. I know you guys 15 more shows to go today. I thank him for joining mine today. So we'll go ahead and you guys make sure to check that out. Jeff, thank you so much, brother. And I'll be talking to you soon.
Toodles.
Toodles.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll Have Another, and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we're back with the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles with the one and only. I'm over here uploading the Talkin Tickets now for us, so you guys just give me a quick moment. All right, so here we are. Now, pretty much we got ourselves a pretty good card today, in my opinion. I think that it's going to work out pretty good for all of us at the end of the day. And I think that pretty much up first, we have ourselves a very keen situation here with the WNBA today. WNBA, we got ourselves a pretty good group here. I'm going to go with the over in the Mystics and Mercury game tonight. And then I'm also going to go ahead and take the money line. I'm going to go against the home team tonight. I'm going to go against the Sparks tonight and take this plus 200. So that should be a pretty good play for us tonight as well too. Now let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, and that's going to be this. This is going to be the MLB list. The MLB list works like this. We're going to go ahead and do the under 8.5 with the Marlins and the Nats. Then we're going to go ahead and do the over 9.5 with the over 9.5 with the Yanks and the Red Sox tonight, like I just talked about with Jeff. And then we're also going to go ahead and do the Rockies tonight, plus 1.5, plus 1-15 on the run line tonight. They're going to be in Atlanta playing against the Braves, so that should be a lot of fun. And then we have the Jays tonight on the road as well too. We have them at plus 155 to go ahead and try to win this game by 2 or more runs with one of the better pitchers in baseball. And then we also have the Royals today as our dog bet of the day. I know I didn't highlight it while we talked about it on the show, but yes, they will be the dog bet of the day for like the 20th time this year. So let's hopefully they can go ahead and win for us today like they usually don't. But we're going to try this thing again today. So plus 130 for the Royals. And then in the game of the day, we got the minus 115 to the Brewers. So with the late pick 4, we have ourselves 1.5 to the Phillies tonight. And then also we're going to go ahead and play the over 7.5 on the that's not Phillies A's. That's going to actually be the over 7.5 that we're going to play on the we're going to actually play that on a different game. And let me go ahead and get that game for you, because I'm doing a lot at once because I'm trying to get this last race up as well too. But all in all, though, we're playing the 1.5 there, and we're playing the over 7.5 with the Mariners and the White Sox tonight. So it's the Mariners and White Sox bet. And then with this Rays and Padres bet, we're going to do the 110 tonight, and then we finish up with the under 8.5 with the Dodgers game. So there it is, 15-1 ticket. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, and we will go from there. So with that, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today. You guys are the absolute best. And another great week. We'll be back on Monday early, about 11 o'clock. So you guys make sure to tune in. And this is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.